Welcome. I'd like to call to order the Clarkston Independence District Library Board of Trustees meeting for July 20th, 2015. The meeting was called to order at 6:10. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's what I think you're right there.
And grab mine too, will you?
I will grab yours too.
Allison.
I'll grab yours too.
Jan Gatsby,
Here.
Michelle Ginn,
Here.
Dan Green,
Here.
Mary Kimberly Robson, Sally Lamb,
Here.
Allison McGinn-Kiesling is here, she'll be right back.
Here.
And Marilyn Palmer here.
Here.
And Julie Moore.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved. I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda as presented. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion is approved. Call to the public. Do we have any public wishing to speak tonight, or just keep us company? All right. The call to the public is closed. Sure. I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda for items. No one wishes to remove any individual item. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Library statistics.
So the library statistical reports are here for your review. The staff usually includes commentary, but there is so much going on right now that they did not include comments. They want to do a full report of the summer at the August meeting. So just a couple of high points. The teen art show was a huge success. We had over 100 pieces of art, and lots of people came that evening. We had really high numbers, really high turnouts for our summer reading kickoff. We had over 250 people at one of our evening family programs. So there's a lot going on, but they want to expound upon that at the end of the summer when they kind of all compile. So those are just a few little high points.
Okay, thank you. Library Director's Report.
I have mostly items that are sort of following up on things that we've talked about previously. For building and grounds, we've been doing a lot of repairs and things like that. The light fixture on the stairs leading to the parking lot has been replaced with a fixture that shines in a full circle instead of straight down, which is something that the board approved a couple months ago. We're hoping this will better illuminate the walkway between the entrance and the parking lot island. If not, we will need to consider additional lighting. And if we do need to consider additional lighting, we probably want to do that next summer when we tear out the driveway around the island in case we need to run conduit or that sort of thing. So that's just something to keep in mind. Item number 2, the 13 large bushes along the southeast wall on the other side of this wall we are sitting in front of have been removed. I've been seeking contractors to remove the old letters from the building and repair the brickwork. I'm also seeking quotes to repair the retaining wall outside the meeting room fire door. The Clarkston Farm and Garden Club will be designing a new garden for this area. They've been considering a butterfly or native plants garden. So I suspect those plantings will take place next summer, but who knows? They may decide that they've got their plans all together and they'll do it this year, but I suspect it will be early next year.
And that's going to incorporate the sculpture too?
Yep. And there's, their intention is to pour concrete to put the statue on, and then we'll move it onto that. That I think we're still going to try and do before the snow flies this year, but the plantings around it and the plantings right outside this wall, I thought they were maybe going to want to do this year, but it took so long to get the bushes pulled out, and that I think at this point we may just wait. So we'll see. It's a continuing process. On Sunday, July 26th, we will be having painting done in some of the public areas in the library, including the lobby, the meeting room, and those entryways that go into the restrooms. It's just something that those areas have a lot of public use, so they do get, the walls get a little bit smudged and battered, yeah. In terms of the library's parking lot, it is original to the current building, which was constructed in 1991 and dedicated in March of 1992. After 23 years and a couple of winters with severe freeze-thaw cycles, the parking lot is in serious need of repair. This is a large and complicated project that has been under consideration and review for nearly 3 years. With the support of the civil engineering firm HRC, we have developed a 3-phase plan with the goal to complete phase 1 before the snow flies in 2015. The driveway is the area with the most deterioration due to significant drainage issues. Therefore, phase 1 will deal with the driveway from Clarkston Road all the way to the southern edge of the parking lot, including the rebuilding of 2 critically important storm drains. Because the library's entrance faces south toward the parking lot, and the fact that the only access to the library's parking lot is this driveway, we anticipate the probability that we will have to close the library for a few days in order to minimize the length of time the phase 1 reconstruction will take. At this point, we do not have dates when it will take place, but we will distribute that information as soon as it becomes available. The summary of the 3-phase plan and the detailed drawings of phase 1 are available on the library's website, and we do appreciate everyone's patience as we work on this important project. I know everybody's really wanting to know what's going on, so it is on the website where people can see what it is that we have planned for that. In terms of collaborations and projects, as discussed previously, the Local Arts Council applied to the DIA Inside Out program, in which reproductions of art are placed in outside venues around town. Clarkston has been selected as the DIA Inside Out town for the summer session from August to October. Reproduction the library will be hosting is Girl and Laurel by Winslow Homer, which will be installed on Monday, July 27th. So we're very excited about that. Coming up very soon.
Okay, thank you. On to regular business. Let's discuss a review of the second quarter financials.
Okay, so that was placed in front of you at your places. It is, let me show you the one that my hand's writing all over it, but it looks like this. It says up to the minute, hot off the presses, it may still be warm. Okay. So the first column is the 2015 budget as approved by the board. Yep, that's the one. The second column is the 6-month budget in terms of if we were spending our money equally each month, this is how much we should have spent at the 6-month point by the end of June. Column C is the 6-month actual, which is what we have actually spent at the 6-month point. And then the very last column, the 4th column, is how much either remains in that account or if we are over budget, the amount of money that we are over budget. So just a few things that I wanted to, an extra one. Where to put it. There you go. Okay, so just some things that I wanted to point out in terms of highlights. If you look at the first page, under state grants, this is in the revenue area, we had budgeted $10,000 in that area. If you look at column C, we have received $10,370. That's always an estimate. State aid money, it varies from one year to the next. We always estimate the amount we will be getting low, and that way we don't have to worry about reducing budgets if it comes in lower than expected. So this is an evenly divided amount of money we get it in 2 checks, and we've received $10,370. We will receive another $10,370. So that was much higher than what was expected this year. Following down the line, if you jump down to penal fines, which is down about 4 lines or so, we budgeted $45,000 in that line item. This is one that comes in one fell swoop. Penal fines are determined by a formula based on the amount of money that is taken in by the county for things like traffic tickets and court costs and that sort of thing. It had been dropping significantly from one year to the next for the past several years. It had gotten as low as about $35,000, but it is increasing again. This is another one like state aid. We just don't know how much we're going to get until we get it. We got $50,000. This comes in one fell swoop, $50,616. That's significantly more than what we had anticipated.
Good.
So that's another positive thing. In terms of duplicating and photocopying, that's down a couple of lines from where we are right now. We budgeted $1,800 in that area. We've taken in 691. People aren't printing and copying as much as they used to, so much can be done electronically via phone and email and that sort of thing. So we're probably not going to collect as much in that line item, but we've got some others that are balancing out. But I just wanted to point out that that one is a little bit lower, and for 2016 we may want to budget accordingly and lower that amount. Going down into the actual expenditures for full-time wages, if you look up until this point this year, we should have spent about $216,000 based on what's budgeted, and we've spent $176, so we are a little below budget, which is good. Part-time, same thing. We should have spent about $173,000, and we were up to about $119,000, so we're doing really well there. That's good. Health insurance. Health insurance, up until this point, we should have spent about $47,000, and we're up to about $55,000. We've had a couple people who've made some adjustments to their health plans. We have a double that's now a family. So Sharon wasn't really concerned about this. She said we need to watch that one as we get closer to the end of the year. We'll need to make a budget adjustment to accommodate that. Or if we're making other budget adjustments, we can accommodate that one, but just to keep an eye on it in case other changes may occur throughout the year. So. Hopping down to workers' compensation, we're off by, we should have spent about $1,600 so far, and we spent $1,606. So I suspect by the end of the year we may need to make a very small budget adjustment there, but it's just something to keep an eye on. Everything else on this side of the page she thought looked pretty good. So flipping to the other side. The audit, we had budgeted for the audit of $3,000, but we knew that the audit was going to, that was a mistake in the amount that was budgeted. It should have been budgeted a higher amount. But we have received the entire fee for the audit, which is $4,800. So it's $1,800 over budget, but that was, I'm going to admit, that was a mistake on my part. I should have changed that number, and I did not. So I will need a budget adjustment of $1,800 into 807, the audit line item. We can take care of that at the end of the discussion. The next one is bank fees. We weren't sure this year exactly what the bank fees were going to look like, but so far we've spent $630 in bank fees. So based on that, I would recommend that we put about $1,300 or $1,400 in that line item for the year, so we can have you make a motion about that and make an adjustment there. In terms of the special events budget, we knew that the librarians, the department heads, for their events and their programming, that they were probably they were trying to guess how much that they would be increasing of their programming. And they're all running a little bit over budget, and it was interesting because I told them I thought they should budget a little bit higher, give themselves a little more wiggle room, and they didn't. But as we get closer to the end of the year, I just put a watch on that. I suspect that we will be having department heads coming to us asking for a little bit more money for those budgets. But this is the first year that we've been able to judge. We've had a lot of increase in the amount of people at different programs. So the costs for supplies and things like that are more than anticipated.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. 931, building and grounds maintenance. We've been doing a lot of repairs and all needed sorts of things. We've been replacing faucets and getting painting done and things like that, and trying to spruce things up. We had all the bushes pulled out and that sort of thing. So we are seeing a lot more money. We've made budget adjustment already. We're going to need to make another budget adjustment because we're trying to get the building up to where it needs to be. A lot of maintenance items. So I suspect you'll be seeing a request for a budget adjustment maybe next month when I have some time to go through and see how many more projects that we want to do between now and the end of the year. But a lot of things that needed to be done, the water softener and all those kinds of things. And then the last one, I asked for a budget adjustment last month for $2,500 that was supposed to go into the building and grounds budget, but in the actual motion, it said 980 and it should have said 975. So I will need a vote to put it in the correct line item. That was an error on my part. Sharon caught it when she was going through this. She said, that budget adjustment you said was going into 980. Did you mean the building line? And I said, yes, I did. So it went into equipment and it should have gone into building. It was for the staffing, the changing of the staff work area, adding the counters.
Oh, right.
So that was an error on my part, and I apologize for that. So there are just 3 motions that I'm requesting. $1,800 from undesignated revenue into line 807 for the audit.
Now, would you like a separate?
I think we should probably do them each separately, just for clarity.
Let's handle that one first.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we move 1,800 into account number 807 from undesignated funds. Any questions or comments on that? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Okay, the second one would be $1,400 into 905 bank fees from undesignated revenue.
Is there a motion?
I so move.
Second.
Okay, second.
Jane?
Jane.
Jane.
Dan
Jane.
Bailey.
Okay.
Okay, so 1,400. Okay, 1,400 moved from undesignated funds into line item 905 for special events. Any comments?
For bank fees.
Bank
Bank
fees. Comments or questions? All right. All those in favor of moving 1,400 into bank fees, which is number 905, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then the last one would be to correct the budget adjustment from last month that was made into 980 into 975.
Is there a
So
motion
moved.
to transfer? Jan moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Who's our second here?
Dan?
Okay. We're going to move, how much money was that?
$2,500.
$2,500
From 980 to
980 to 975 as a correction for last month's budget adjustment. All those, any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion is approved. Okay. Do we want to do CUSAC next?
We can do this next. Last month, we were talking about the quality services audit checklist, and the board wanted to do a little homework and read up on it and kind of think about it, and then consider who might want to be on that committee. So really, all we need to talk about tonight is who might want to be on that committee to work on CUSAC with us. Anybody want to do that?
Part
I
of
would-
the strategic plan.
I would like to.
Marilyn?
Well, and because Mickey said the same thing about strategic planning. I mean, because I also have some interest, do we just want to take the existing strategic planning committee? Did you?
We could do that. How do you want to do
I
it?
was on it.
Yeah.
That's why I was
Yeah.
wondering.
I mean, we could just,
clarify
I mean, unless
between
anybody
two,
else
or we
really,
could
really
just
wants
look
to do that, we could.
So Jan and Mickey and Marilyn? Okay, that's fine with me. Works for me.
So the strategic planning subcommittee will also be the CUSAC subcommittee.
Okay, there you go.
They kind of go hand in hand, I think.
They do go together.
Halfway, so.
So we can make recommendation to the full board.
I just wanted to make sure
strategic
that
plan.
nobody felt weighted down by
Well,
subcommittee work.
that's my hesitation, of course, but we'll see how things go.
Well, if there are 3 of you, if there are times when you can't be at all the meetings, then don't worry, there's coverage. So Okay.
It'll work.
Well, that was
That was
quick.
easy. I knew it would be, I told you that was.
Okay, item number 3, request to approve server replacement bids.
Okay, so in your packet, there was a meeting agenda item form, and at your place, you will see that there is an updated meeting agenda item form, because apparently Bill said that he got changes to the actual amounts. So there's a big packet of information and a new agenda item form, and I have Mr. Bowman here who is going to explain it all to you so that I don't have to worry about getting it wrong. So take it away, Bill.
All right, well, with the technology plan and the 2015 budget request I put in a year ago, we put in an amount based on a consultant coming in and telling me what equipment they felt we needed to move forward and the basic prices he came up with. Well, the changes in technologies and all that other different things, I went through and I came up with a different plan, which, because I had other consultants come in this year and discuss what we need, what we're using currently, that sort of thing. And 2 of them came in with one solution very similar to what was brought in last year, and the third one came in with a solution much simpler and with more room to grow than technically the other 2 had. So I sent out, you'll find the first page, the information form. The second 2 pages are the requests that I sent out to 6 vendors. That'd be the part 1 and part 2. And then the next page on top of that, or after that, is the comparison of the quotes that came back. Okay, of the 6 vendors that I sent to, only 3 actually responded. One of them called me and told me they weren't comfortable with the solution that I was asking them to quote on. So I went, well, that's fine, that's the solution I want, and then, you don't have to bid. You can send me your quote too. Okay, I'll have it to you by Thursday. This week it wasn't even here yet, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. But within the quote spec, I did say that I was going to split it between more than one vendor, most likely. It depends on who gave me the best prices on the different equipment. So, of the 3, CDW is a vendor that I've used in the past, so is PC Mall. And then the third vendor, KTG, is actually it's the Knight Technology Group. I polled a bunch of the different libraries in the area to see who their tech vendors were, and KTG came up from a couple of different libraries, and I've also worked with them in the past on other projects when we were in MetroNet with other, that sort of thing. So,
Nothing?
Okay, I thought you put the question there.
We're with you so far.
Okay. So, the way it looks, you'll see that on the comparison spreadsheet that, like I said, the first agenda form was before one of the vendors was able to get me prices on a particular piece of equipment. So his prices changed. All of them, every time they changed, they went down, which is a good thing. Yeah. So, the original budgeted request last year was for about $39,000 for this particular project. At this point, the requested project is at $21,000 or $22,000 in equipment and equipment and service. So the bulk of the hardware I request to be purchased from the CDW vendor because he did get the best prices for me for most of it. Then there's just a couple of pieces in the service through KTG.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
So it's the red that gives us the overall cost? Is that how we're doing?
Overall cost at the bottom, yeah, is it in red? I have it in black and white here, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, so.
Yeah, that one's in red, yeah, it was.
We add those lines up, is that what that is?
No, the overall cost ends up being the $22,374.
Right.
The cost for each vendor, that's the one where each vendor's, that's the amount that I'm going to ask for each vendor. Okay, that's all of their parts that I want to buy from them. That's their total. And then the bottom, one of the vendor total was if I bought everything from that vendor, that's how much it would have cost.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you there, but.
No.
So are you buying
Basically, the
anything
items
from
in
PC
green
Mall?
under each vendor are the ones.
Basically, the ones that are green, yep.
Right, those are the
That I tried, pretty much anything that was green, except I think I took the one that was a total difference of $2. I think I took the CDW one, because that was just kind of bulked in that particular set of items is all the same, from the same vendor.
No, it's a good, it's clear.
But yeah, the greens are the cheapest, yellows are in the middle, and the red is the most expensive from that particular vendor. And the PC Mall, he didn't give me quotes on most of the equipment, you notice? And I had asked for either an HP server or a Dell server in the quote. He quoted me a Dell server that was actually less in specification than the HP's. So I mean, that's why he's got the lowest price, but I still didn't choose it. Because that's not what I need. I asked for a specific set of parts, and I got slightly less on the Dell side than I did on the HP side. That's the only, I mean, the major case where I didn't take the lowest.
But there was a reason.
There was a reason, yes.
Yeah.
The one that was.
And then the documentation behind it is all the quotes and stuff that I got from the different vendors, in case you're interested in seeing them. I know it's 17 pages. Yes,
So, okay, so
That's very thorough.
the overall cost is $22,372.06.
correct.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not following where that overall cost came from.
It is a total, it is a total of the costs for each vendors. The to each vendor, the 14,667.06 and the
Oh.
75.05
I got it,
together equal
got it.
22,372.
Because those weren't colored. Those were black and white.
Well, that's because I was choosing them both. I couldn't do that. I couldn't change their colors.
I'm up this running out of color.
Yeah, there's only so many colors I can make. But there's also, and also in the back, there's the KTG section where he actually spec'd out what he was planning on helping me do. You know, this isn't him doing it all himself. This is me and him working with me together to get this equipment up to where it needs to be.
So from CDW, it's just equipment?
Pretty much all equipment.
I mean, and there's some equipment also from
KTG.
KTG, but a lot of what KTG is the...
Is going to actually use service, correct. Which is actually what he prefers.
Okay. And you are comfortable with that?
Absolutely. Like I said, I buy from CDW all the time. I even bought from PC Mall, and there's been times where he gave me exactly what I needed. You know, I bought many of the computers here through him.
Okay.
You know, but CDW has been doing much better for me recently than the other one has.
Okay.
I like the competition.
Well, like I said, I tried to get, and then two of the vendors that came and actually sat down in the building didn't bother to quote. So apparently I offended them. I don't know.
Well, either that
By not
or
letting
they
them-
knew,
Well,
sometimes, when you're dealing with something like CDW, they do tend...
well, they don't know, nobody knew who the other bidders were. So, I mean, but I think it was because they wanted me in a particular solution, and they didn't want to quote what the lesser one. I mean, I did get a quote from one of them at the very beginning, unsolicited, and the quote was over $100,000. And I said, no, that's just not the direction we're going here. So, yes, so that's when I took it apart and quoted it
So
out a
you
little
would
bit
be
different.
comfortable with this $22,372? You think that would do what you want to do?
Yes, there's going to be
Upgrade our
one other
systems.
purchase, but that can come out of my own stuff, that's of some of the software. But I have a vendor that I don't have to worry about bidding. They are the cheapest because they deal in what's called donationware.
Okay.
It's a company that deals in software for Microsoft and these different places that it's literally, you pay $20 for Office. You know, like Microsoft Office is $20.
Nice.
So I mean, so server is like 38. You know, so I'm like, I don't have to worry about those ones, so I won't even come above an amount to worry about in that.
All right, are there any questions, any other questions for Bill? So we thank you for the amount of time you've spent on this,
Yes.
but in today's world,
Oh, I
this is
understand.
crucial. Okay, are there any other pieces of the upgrade that you need to speak about? Do you think we have all of the information here?
I believe you do.
All right.
Well, I move that we approve the bid by CDWG for equipment in the amount of $14,670 and the bid by Knight Technologies Group for equipment and installation services in the amount of $7,710.
Second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the bid for CDWG for equipment, the amount of $14,670, and the bid by Knight Technologies Group for equipment and installation services in the amount of $7,710. Any questions or comments on this project? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion is carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the detail.
Maybe we'll call you.
Thanks, Bill. And I will now accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Allison is the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is accepted. We are adjourned at 6:40.